Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. 2, 1. Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the 237th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Normand and Brandi S. Today's topic is coming off part 6 of the beginner series called My Will. And, you know, for me, when I came into this program, I had no freaking clue what that meant. So, Andrew, would you like to discuss what that means to you today and why you're happy to discuss this here today?
I would love to, Milan. Brandi, where you been? We miss
Under
you.
a rock. Fill me in.
How you feeling? We love you. We're glad you're back. Welcome
Love
home.
you.
Love you. So today's a really, really important topic. A lot that goes into this, the before, during, and how we tend to, what we're going to do with this going forward, this whole My Will thing. And I think it was really tricky. And it took a while for me to really understand fully what this meant. We go to a lot of meetings and you hear a lot about this whole taking your self-will back and turning that shit over. And before I got here, what my self-will was, I thought I had control over a lot of things. And the more and more I was using, the more and more I was just blind to the fact that I was, burning my life to the ground, each and every day, more and more, and I thought I knew what was best. I thought I always was like, don't tell me what to do kind of thing. I always thought I had my shit together. I always kept a job. I was that functioning addict. I didn't think I needed help, and then when people would try to help me, I was bigger than that. I just my ego, that pride always got in the way. And then, obviously the substances were involved. So it always just revolved around that whole survival mode we talk about. We got to stay on those substances to stay activated and stay not sick. And, fear ran my life, being able to look back at it, like fear was that control. Like that was what was controlling my life, was fear. A lot of different layers to that fear. Fear of being wrong, vulnerable. I never felt enough. We talk about that a lot in here. And so as it relates to like what we're trying to do with this self-will today, we'll talk a lot about it more in the podcast, but like breaking it open, it's not about me anymore. And the more I can surrender that self-will, right? Like that's where my superpower comes in, like being able to turn that shit over. Because I always thought I had to see the finish line to everything. Like I always thought I had to see everything out and control things to the end to be able to move forward. And that's not the case, man. That's not the case at all. Like there's a lot of things that come in our lives, Brandi, that they're not really for us to handle. Like they're not our problems. Most of the things that hit our table aren't our problems, right? But we choose to interject ourselves into it. And then it creates a problem for us most of the time, because there's different motives to why we maybe interject ourselves or whatever. And we'll get into more of that as we keep talking. But being able to turn that self-will over, like I have to turn that shit over every day, because it makes my day better. It makes how I approach my life in it every day. Right? It's not about me anymore today. We're going to hit that a lot today. Like I thought I had this thing figured out. I thought I could stop using when I wanted to, and I couldn't, right? Like I always told myself if this happened, like I could stop, next week I'll stop. And I was just killing myself, hurting the people around me. Cause I couldn't stay clean. I could not stop using, right? I could not stop using. And so, my will got me here. My will and my best like thinking process and all that shit like got me to where I needed help. I needed help outside of me, because me, I wasn't enough. My will was not enough. I had to turn it over. And so, I got to give it up every day. I pray every morning, I pray every night to try to make sure I maintain that, giving that shit up, because I don't know what to do with it. I really don't know what to do with it. So there's my beat. I love you, man. I will pass it to you, Brandy, to open this topic up. What does this mean to you?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
love you.
and I love you. I love you guys both. I didn't realize like that's why I love this because we could take a topic like, these two words, my will. And I didn't realize I had so much to really write about or to think about more. Because my will, when I think of my will, I think of like Brandy frolicking through a field, being like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm an adult. Like, who's gonna tell me what I can't do? Not looking at what my will really, where it takes me, the places it takes me. And I always thought like, you would I didn't realize how dangerous my will was for me until I fully surrendered it. And I have to do it all the time. I mean, it's just like surrender. It's like your will, not mine. Your will, not mine. That can go through my head sometimes, multiple times in a day. And I realize when self-will still can run in my life, and I have to recognize that. I have to recognize, just like you were saying, Andrew, like do I need to put myself in certain things, like that hell week that I had when I wasn't here? Like it was all these different things, and though I was a part of it, it wasn't real all my problem either. But somehow I either got wrapped in or I wrapped myself in because I'm trying to control something or control an outcome, maybe not even people, just the outcome. That's my will running. That's losing the trust. And that's a big thing that I've learned when it comes to my will. If I think I can run on it, then I'm not trusting his will. And my will didn't get me here. Maybe it got me here, but it doesn't keep me here. That's for sure. So I got to remember that. And when we're able to do stuff like this, like I said, I get to kind of dig into it more because I remember hearing like, oh, it's free will. You got to have willpower, like all these things where it was confusing to me when it's like, wait, my will's no good. What do you mean my will's no good?
The
Well,
same
let's
way.
think about
I was
it.
like, I want it. Why
Yeah.
would I not want
Right. And then
it?
the whole like, well, I'm not using drugs anymore. So why is this an issue? I don't get why this is an issue. That's my will speaking, and as much as it's mine and it's not good for me, and that's okay. It's okay, because it sounded so contradictory at first. Like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta have willpower. He gave us free will. Well, when it comes to it, like it was very self-centered. I looked at it at that when I was looking through stuff last night, like, running on my own willpower and not his will and doing whatever Brandy wants in Brandy land is very self-centered.
Mm.
And and I got to remember like I don't need to do that because really the process of me running on my own will is very stressful. It's very stressful. There's bumps in the roads. I might think I get something I want because I wanted it, but the outcome isn't what I was looking for. Like that. And so when I was using it was like Andrew was saying, like, I can quit. I'll quit tomorrow. I don't need anybody's help. That's my will speaking. My name is Brandy. I'm an addict. That's his will. And I remind myself that like I run on his, not mine. I can't even run anyways. What am I saying? I got arthritis, but
Did I limp on his?
yeah, I'll limp
Funny.
on in. My
That's
my
funny.
mom says that when I broke my leg, that's God's 2x4. Slow down. So
Your mom's funny. Your mom's funny.
yeah, so I'll leave it right there. I love this topic. It is great, and I love to dig into to these things that got us here, to keep us here. It's important. So thank you.
Woo.
Freedom, Miss
Yeah, that's
Man,
U.
right.
it's funny how we like a podcast gets a topic, and I don't know about you guys, but this has been literally the topic of my like last 4 days. Everywhere I go, it has just been kind of in my face, either in meetings, sharing sessions with sponsees, whatever. It comes up everywhere, and the my will, right, is like it's ego and like trying to control the people, the places, the things for some kind of self-serving result that like basically like they say in the book, the self will run riot, and and us trying to control everybody, and then that leads to resentments because obviously we can't control the entire universe. And I really thought I was gonna, but the pity parties afterwards, they're just like resentment tantrums. You know, they're basically just like, hey, come celebrate my little tantrum with me. I'll celebrate yours. Like you bring yours, I'll bring mine. And and it ultimately, the first change of that starts with surrender. Like surrendering my addiction brought me some freedom from myself that was like it took away my mores, which was dominating like 70% of my brain. And just it showed me right away that I needed recalibration inside, because to be able to have such a dramatic change by changing one thing, like it opened the door to like, holy crap, I might be wrong about everything, like and I wouldn't have said that 1 week before that
Yeah.
event,
Yeah, man.
and then it also, like, it takes, like, when I'm living in my will, love is a transactional commodity, and I'm not, being patient. I'm not being kind. I'm not keeping no
Mhm.
record of wrongs, and it's taking that and seeing that, others aren't part of like a function of my comfort. It's more like, something now that I get to start to care for in a work, like a life of service and love.
Yeah.
And then for me, going into treatment, I remember saying, I do not understand this. And my friend young Gabriel was like, just look at the list of the principles. Just act inside these. And there's a good chance you're going to be living in his will. And then I'm going to
Hmm.
just end with one thing, because it came up yesterday in a meeting, and it's that, you know, we can only be consciously connected to our higher power in the present moment.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now that if we can't get ourselves to that present moment, we are never going to feel the guidance of what our higher power's will is. If we're disconnected from it, it's like
Yeah.
he might be on the other side of the phone telling us exactly what to do, and someone's cut the line, us, by not being here now to listen to it. And so, start doing the steps, because they're going to help you clear that wreckage of the past, bring you back from your future catastrophization, and hopefully you're going to start to feel some serenity, and that serenity will let your heart open to hear, and that will.
Yep.
Love that.
Solutions to every problem solved, bro.
Yeah.
You're
That's right.
absolutely right, man. I love
Yeah,
you.
I
I
gotta,
love
s-
you.
I love it
I
too.
gotta say real quick, I had to write this
Mm.
down. Pity party is celebrating resentments. That's good.
Yeah,
Ooh,
That's
we don't
yeah,
want
really
to. We don't
good.
want to celebrate those little bastards. Come on.
Yeah, that is really good. Yeah, I had to
yeah.
write that
That is
down.
good. That is dope. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you write
I
them
do
down,
too.
because I forget them as fast as I say
Yeah.
them.
It's like
Yeah,
I
I have like
mentally
I
write
gotta
them
write this
down,
shit
and
down.
then
Yeah, right?
you ready,
Right?
Friedel?
Yes.
All right. So when did you first realize that your will was actually destroying you? So the question is, when did I first realize my will was actually destroying me?
Man, it definitely wasn't it was I didn't see it at all like that. My dog's trying to eat my toast. I didn't see it at all like that while I was in active addiction, and even when I first got to treatment, I had a hard time seeing what, my will and realizing the damage it had done. Like I knew that I had to surrender, like was starting to understand that. And but then I started, realizing that I mean, obviously, when I got to step three, I started to dive deeper into the fact that like my will's not good for me, and I started to think about, the times that I had tried to do things, and but at the time when I was running on my own will, like I wasn't asking for help, I wasn't talking to people, I wasn't even doing the next right thing. I was doing the next thing that felt good to me, and learning that that's my will when I'm doing stuff like that. And it's an eye opener for me to realize that I have ran my whole life like that. You know, like I remember like I've been with my husband forever, and of course the last like 10 years of my using was when I lied to him the most. I lied to him from day one, really, about one substance or another. So like that's me running on my will. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm an adult, you know. I'm gonna do what I want. And I think about stuff, yeah, and it's like when I got into treatment and things were starting to clear, and I was starting to like shut up and listen to other people and realize the similarities that I had with them and how they described, you know, their will and how, you know, it's you got to give that up. I started to understand that I wasn't making excuses like, well, it's gotta have willpower, you know, like I was saying, or you gotta be able, you know, self will, all this stuff. I started to realize that that's not the direction that I needed to go. I needed to just give up that control of how I thought something was going to go, how it was going to be like, you know, people don't understand why I do what I do. You know, they don't get it. They don't get me. Like that's my will trying to explain to myself that you can still do whatever you want because it's about what you want, what you need. That's not what it is. It's you know, needs and wants will always be in our life, but what direction they go is where that's the turning point right there for me. And I realized today that I can't. Like I used for 30 years and I tried to get clean. I didn't try to get clean for 30 years. Let's be honest here. Like I could have at any point in 30 years got clean, but I didn't want to and then I didn't know how to and then I just couldn't do it until I finally stopped running on my own will and I surrendered. And so, you know, those early times of those like aha moments, they stick with me. And that's amazing because I love to think about the times that like I realized that my will was running against me, not like, you know, not for me. And you know, playing the tape all the way through makes a big difference when it comes to, okay, is this mine or is this his? And so I've learned to run beside his will. Okay, like gallop or limp, whatever it is.
Legallop.
We'll
I'm
call it
roll.
loping.
Legallop.
We'll call it a
Yeah,
quick lope.
I'm loping. Yeah, elope next to his
That's
will
so
and
funny.
yeah, and stay away from mine because you know my will's no good for me, and I'm
Lalloping.
okay.
She's like lalloping.
It's a little bit of frolic there.
Oh, we
And
miss
I'm
you,
okay with
Brandy.
that. I love you guys. I'm okay with my will not being good for me because
Oh
I have
man,
his will. So I love you guys.
that was dope. We needed
That
that. We
was
love you.
amazing. Love you, Brandy. Love you, Andrew.
Love you more. Milan, you ready?
Yeah.
When did you realize that your will was actually destroying you?
Oof. Well, you know, there was something about when I woke up after that night of dying where I was like, it's over. I I was uh I was just like somehow I was like, there's no hiding what I'm doing to myself anymore.
Timer.
Oh, timer, thank you. Yeah. Well, I won't take it all anyway.
I love you,
I'll
man.
leave it there. But and remind me anytime I don't. But
Yes, sir.
you know, I would say after that conversation with young Gabriel that I mentioned earlier, right? It made me look at the principles and like start kind of defining them. I remember sitting with like, you know, dictionary there and just looking at some of the words and realizing that, you know, I really didn't genuinely have very many of those principles actively in my life. Like, and when then going into step four, you know, and to anybody who's new, it's that moral inventory that, you know, made me fearless, right? The searching and fearless moral inventory. But that really unveiled for me how I was really the conductor of all my misery. You know, like I was the one who was being intolerant and getting upset, not having acceptance, putting expectations on people, you know, pity parties. Oh my God. Like, yeah, like that was that had reached a
Prince.
crescendo, the prince of the pity party. I was like, please come for a pettifor at my pity party. Like, yeah. And, and then, you know, start, getting out of treatment and getting into some of the amends, that was opening the door to forgiveness, and it was really highlighting to me how much forgiveness is an important part of this journey, especially for ourselves. When we look and think, oh, nobody's going to believe we've changed. Well, we're the first one who has to really believe that we've changed.
Yep.
And we won't believe,
Mm-hmm.
it was, I think it was yesterday's JFT about remorse, right? About, like how that's a pathway to freedom, doing those amends. But, all that helped me become present. And, if you have all that baggage from the past, there's a good chance you're not feeling connected to everything around you, and the universe being one. And the fact of that, like it's that connected flow that helps you understand where to go. Because when you do something good, it feels really good inside, and I don't know about you guys, but like there's times where it's just like I'm savoring that feeling of joy in a day, where I'm like, wow, this is amazing, and I'm literally having gratitude for the sensation that has been brought, maybe from my actions, maybe from my service, or maybe something somebody's done for me even, right? Like, but the thing about it is though, is that it's that connectedness. And that's
Mm.
only happening when we stop and, have gratitude for that presence and bring ourselves to that moment. Because for myself, that connection is an integral part of every single day. I love you guys.
I
Love
love
you
you.
more, Milan. Love you more. So, Andrew, when did I first realize my will was actually destroying me? Hashtag LLA. This is
That's
a
right.
this is a good one. How I'm trying to think about how I want to say this. It wasn't like a flashbang thing for me. But I remember coming into this recovery thing thinking that I could stop on a certain day, or I could still take control of this thing at some point, barring with a little bit of help from the facility that I was in, and and then I remember as I kept cleaning out, and I would push through these times without drugs in my system. Because Brandy, I say this a lot, like I couldn't stop using. There was nothing that could get me to stop using, right? And so I remember like trying to fight everything, like other people's points of view, like I would always see the cracks in things, and even when like the evidence pointed in the other direction, like I would always try to fight the narrative. And I remember I remember like the point when um I realized that I was using drugs to escape rolling with that narrative. I remember when things wouldn't go my way, I would just use. Because then I
Yep.
could get control back of the situation. I could control, at least from my point, and anybody that wanted to have any dealings with me, I'm using now. So it's like really on me now.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I don't care. Your dog died. It doesn't matter. Like I'm using now, right? And so now everybody has to be worried about me. And that's bro. And there was a really integral part there. It was terrifying for me that when I began to understand that like the escape was the drugs, right? Like I was using drugs to escape reality and escape like what my life was, what life was, right? I was escaping everything, and so it flipped around to like I literally had no control. Like this is showing me I have no control because I use substances every time. I couldn't control the narrative, and I realized that they were just destroying me, right? Like I was just destroying myself, and oh man, it's so deep. It's so deep when I realized that um I was sick. Like that's
Mm.
when I realized I was really sick, like in a lot of different ways, mentally, physically, emotionally, the whole thing. I was so sick and it was so terrifying, but that's where that's where I was like, burn this bitch down, right? Like I had to like burn myself down to be able to start building myself back up honestly again, because I was so full of shit. I was just so full of shit. I've been just feeding myself bullshit, feeding everybody around me bullshit. You know what I mean? And so I could finally, at that point, when I realized that, like, fuck, dude, I thought I had this whole thing figured out, that I was doing all right. And then it kind of came to a realization of like, bro, you've been fucking up for a long, long time. And,
Yeah.
and it's time to turn this thing over. Like, there's the only thing that can make that happen, And so drugs were just a symptom, bro. My will was the root. Like my will was just running riot. I started using drugs and like the shit went out of control. But this whole like my will and turning this thing over is bigger than the drugs. It's bigger than like everything we're talking about right here, right? Like it's bigger than that, and that's where like the power can be relieved from you. Like you can try to let him shoulder some of that shit, man. Because we still have problems, bro. Like even though we're not using, I'm still here and I still have to like tackle life. And so if I have him alongside with me, like that's like my new drug. If I need some help, I don't use. I just tap into him. I just pray. So.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
And I feel that. Yeah, I felt that so much. Like it's like I remember you were talking about like the narrative, like I'm an addict, it's what I'm gonna do. Like the acceptance of that I was already giving. And it's like
you love me, help me. You love me, help me. If not, fuck you. Like that's the way I was.
Or even if
I remember saying, this is how you met me. I remember this is how you met me. I haven't changed. You have.
Yeah.
And like thinking like that was a valid excuse.
Like using that as like you're like, right? That's what I'm standing on this thing. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What's wrong with us?
Right. Great. Yeah. And then who knew, like that doesn't have to be our narrative. It doesn't have to be who we are. Like
it really can't. It can't. We have to let this shit go. Right. We're always going to find a way to use drugs. We're always going to find a way to be like, all right, drugs will be a good idea here. That's why we got to stay.
If you hold on to your will and you're straight, you're just a dry drunk who's a bitter dick.
Yeah.
Like white knuckling hard. Bro.
Yeah. It's just a white knuckler, man. Yeah.
And you're miserable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I seen him.
Yeah. I know him.
No doubt. So where we at?
Brandy's asking me a question.
Sweet.
Okay. All right, Milan. What feelings usually drive you or drive your will? Is it fear, control, pride, resentment? So what feelings usually drive your will?
Well, I think behind it all is fear. I mean, whether even the pride is basically, fear of inadequacy, right? I think I'm trying to, trying to build myself up against other people. I mean, it manifests for me most frequently in anger. Like I'll be mad because I create some kind of expectation with my will. And even kind of like silently laid boundaries where like I don't tell the other person, but I've created a boundary, and then I'm like, oh, I'm really mad at you because you just did that, and that was very hurtful, and you should have known better than that. Like, man, I had that happen this week. I had that happen this week with somebody, and her kind of OCD was leading her to insult some people, and I must say I really love this person, but it was like it got to a point with too much, and I lashed out. I said probably 4 sentences that were like, whoa, don't you ever treat me like that again. And I went off and it manifested absolutely. And afterwards, like I could say, oh, she did that to me, but she didn't do that to me. Like I did that to me by letting her. Like I could have removed myself earlier. I could have said something earlier. Like for me, it's a dangerous thing to lay those silent boundaries, because those silent boundaries just like they're literally bullshit. Like they're literally me. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get them if they go this far or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
You gave him all
felt
kinds of chances in your head. I gave you chances.
yeah,
What do you
like
mean?
I was like, pull out of it, pull out of it. But um,
Your last
I
chance.
I
Yeah.
think and a big part of it is that thing that I've kind of been dealing with in my step work, and that is that from being such a kind of abused in the sense of like bullied and having to fight as a child, it's like my
Mm,
initial instinctive response is to attack. So that's absolutely coming out of fear if I'm feeling any kind of threat to me, and I see it. I see it happening a lot, and I still like it happens less and to way less degrees now. But I'm still that scared child not wanting to get hurt. And, some part of me still believes that if I knock you out and walk away, I'm okay and safe because that's how it used to be. And
Yeah, man.
so,
Grew
yeah,
up that.
oh, yeah. I'm working on it, but it still manifests as in don't
mm,
fucking do that. Like
yeah.
my last sentence to that person was don't fucking dish it out if you can't fucking take it, and walked out. Like that
That's
that's not
awesome.
that's
That's
not love
awesome.
and acceptance.
So for your
Yeah.
last 30 seconds, we're going to tell Brandy about, we got to show Brandy your tattoo and tell her on the day that it was scheduled
Yeah.
and how it was scheduled. Why? And
Tell
all
me. Tell me.
Oh,
Where to go? Oh, there it is.
that. She said, where to go? You
It's
got to go
hard
the
to
other way.
see
No,
it.
that's cool. It's
I
I
love.
don't know how to get.
Oh, there it is. Bam. Love. Love.
Oh, that's
Love.
fire.
And we were
And I
talking
happened to
about it.
get it on
Yep.
Andrew's birthday.
And it was
Yeah.
scheduled pre-planned,
Yeah,
way
we got.
pre-planned. And
Really?
Yeah,
we were chopping it up
he's like, oh, it'd be
No
funny if you're getting
way.
it on my birthday. And I was like, actually, I
He's
am.
like, it's a couple Saturdays from now. It's on the 20th. I mean, the 21st. And I'm like, boom, that's my birthday. God working. God working. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's wild.
gosh. That's so funny. You'll
Yep.
forever look at that tattoo and the first thing that comes to your mind is Andrew and then
I was
whatever else
freaking
follows.
out. I was like, you got that thing pre-scheduled on the day that I was birthed into this world. You're going to get love tattooed on your arm.
Bing.
Come on,
But now I
man.
got my love and
I love it.
acceptance.
Come on, man. We've
Right?
been talking about that tattoo for 2 years.
I love it. You're like Spidey senses.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take that question, Brandon.
Those are your super soakers, right?
That is like, you're like, ooh, I sprayed a little bit too much sepsis. Get a little more love in there.
Yeah, right.
It's
Before
You
funny.
I
need
ask
some
you the
fire or
question,
you need the garden hose.
right? Give a little bit of both.
Oh, you
Before I
guys.
ask you, Andrew, I want to
Mhm.
comment on real quick on Milan's share. So I know I've talked about the book in here before, but I have it in front of me now, so I can say it right. It's emotionally healthy
Oh,
spirituality.
okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
the last chapter I read was about it was about like, speaking with other people and resentments and having expectations that people don't even know about. Like we're not mind readers.
Ooh.
And yeah, and how like, if you have an expectation for somebody, like an unrealistic one is they don't know about it. If it's realistically they know about it. You've talked about it, you've agreed on it. I don't know one expectation I've ever had that I've had someone agree on it with me. you know, like this
Yeah.
is what I expect, or I've talked to him about it and like, but it was like, yeah, it was a profound chapter for me for sure. But if you guys ever want to, I mean, it has a whole course really, but the course has these different things. So we just got this, and
I just
but I think at
downloaded the
church we
book
do.
while you were talking.
It's so
It's
good.
my new
It's so
walking
good.
book.
Yeah, it's talks a lot about like where like how we are and how it stems from our family, like characteristics. So like it's great. It's great.
Nice. Nice. Check it
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, I gotta
All
ask
right.
you a
Woo.
question. I
Yeah, I
got
have no
excited.
idea
I
what the
love
question
that.
is. We can see her because
Yeah,
I have no idea
right?
what the question is. We'll talk about love.
Right. Okay, Andrew, what feelings usually drive your will? Is it fear, control, pride, whichever, for
Yes.
example?
Yes, yes, yes. Yep.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes.
All of it. All of it. I want to, fear is the biggest one. As I started thinking about all of them, fear is the number one driver for me, but not like it was before, not like that survival mode fear that we tend to talk about a lot, but, fear of like being misunderstood today,
Mm,
fear of like not being enough, maybe, I'm always going to have that, you know, fear of
yeah.
losing like control over a certain outcome or like looking weak. that kind of simple shit that leaves in the pool problems today kind of fear. But when I'm afraid, I think about this, like when I'm afraid, that's when my will like tightens up on me. And that's when like I have to take like action, right? Because my will be like, I'll fix it. I'll fix this or I'll change it. I'll control it. I'll say something when I feel like I need to, even though it's maybe out of turn or whatever. Um, and like fear makes me aggressive today. Um, and that's where I gotta check that shit, right? That's where I gotta check my motives and try to practice that principles for personalities, whatever it might be. Um, and the crazy thing about that though is like, my fear today will disguise itself like in weird ways, like as like leadership
Mm,
or like responsibility, right? Like, it's just a different spin on it today, right? Like I'm not running for my
I
life
feel
today.
that.
I'm not running for my life today, but it's just a level of like being in this world and trying to help people out. And we're trying, you get involved in certain things and then you can start getting those feelings on a different level, or I can. And so, fear is always going to be there. Pride's always going to be there, Brandy. But when I really dip into this question, like impatience,
Mm. Ooh, that's
impatience
good.
drives my
I didn't think
will
about that.
more
I
than
didn't think about
anything,
that.
bro. Impatience
Yeah.
runs my shit to the ground sometimes, man. Like I want growth faster.
Yeah.
I need it now. I need results now. I need, people need to
Yeah.
change faster on my
Instant.
time. Instant. I gotta have it, right? Situations need to resolve themselves now. Like I need it now. I needed to be high now. So that's where like my impatience has taken on a different face, in recovery. Like impatience is really something that I've had to temper and I've had to like do some work around, do some paperwork around it and continue
Mm.
to.
We don't
Um,
like paperwork.
that's right. That's right. Because when shit's going slow, bro, I'm like, bro, let's speed this.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna speed this thing up. I'm gonna press on the gas, bro. You can hop on. Let's go. Let's go. I
Yep.
got places to go, people to see, and so I gotta let the world like unfold in its own pace and shit. Like that's where I gotta like
Mm.
temper that shit. And so this is another one. This is a big one for me. When I'm hurting, when I feel hurt, my will wants protected. Like if I feel hurt, my will wants to step in and be like, bro, who's fucking around?
Yeah.
Who's who's fucking with
Yeah.
my dude here? Come on, man. Like that's when my will wants to like act out, but again, that's where that pause, that space in between that thought and that action are vital for me today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always feel like I have to be certain in my endeavors. Like if like and things don't have to be all my like I don't have to be so certain about everything, right? Like never everything is on my terms today. So I kind of started thinking about that. Um, and then the last one, I always feel like I need to be like effective, right? Like I feel like I need to be active and effective if I'm there. And that's kind of a downfall for me because sometimes I just need to like sit and listen, just be there. So that was for me. But the big one, you already know, like the big one is the impatient part. Impatience
That
kicks my ass, bro, and the will part.
Yeah.
that's good because
Patience is
I
surrender in real
feel that.
time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you, Brandy. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking that. That was good.
Yeah. Love you guys.
How
What
about
did I
you?
All
hear
right,
someone say the
Brandy.
other day? Patience is surrendering a mouthful at a time, or something like that.
Mm.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I like that.
it's
Why?
like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I never
And I
had
thought,
I
patience.
wanted to I wanted to name my daughter Patience, but her
I love
initials would be
that.
PMS. PMS though. I
oh
couldn't do
boy.
it.
You're
I
a
couldn't
good
do
mom.
it.
You're a good mom. That's
Yeah.
good. You didn't want to do that.
Yes. Because it took a lot of patience to have her, but yeah.
So funny.
Okay, me. What feelings usually drive my will? Fear, control, pride, resentment. Man, I love how you said patience because that really does. Because if I'm not patient, is I want to then okay, get out of the way. Let me do it. I can do it. And that really gets that's where resentments get built for me because I'm like, you didn't even do it, but you didn't let me do it. You pushed me out of the way and did it yourself. But the fear, I think is a big one. fearing what the outcome will be. So control, let's just say control. Like those are all the same for me, but in different sentences a little bit. Like because I want to control the outcome. Or if somebody like that week, crappy week I had, like I was definitely running on my own will, even if it felt justified. That's another one I got to be careful for. Like when my will feels justified, doesn't mean it's right. It does not mean it's right because that justification is probably running on pride or fear or anger. And so to be able to just trust, just got to sit back and do the opposite of all that stuff. I got to let go of control, not be afraid, and just trust. Not just think about myself and my outcome, and not have expectations on things that I cannot control. And if I can control any of it, it's really just me doing my part in it. It's not me controlling it. I can't not participate in life. I have to participate, but I have to understand that, like, when my will shows up, it's not secretive when it shows up. Like I know the signs today. It's if I choose to acknowledge them, because there are times I don't want to acknowledge them. Like when I was the other day, I was feeling kind of funky, got a little argument with my husband. We held our hearts together and made up. That's what we do. We don't argue that much. So when we do, I don't like it. And so that day,
That's
I
cute.
was like, it's cute. I hate it when I'm mad. He's like, let's hold our hearts together. I'm like, fine. And then
Uh-huh.
it makes a big difference. But I was like, that morning, I was like, I don't even want, like, I let it ruin my day. And it was the next morning. Like, I don't even really want to host tonight. I should get someone to do it for me. I should just lie and have someone do it for me. And then I had to share about it because I was like,
I remember you talking
yeah,
about that to me.
yeah. And it
Mm-hmm.
made a big difference sharing about it. And because my will is like, you don't have to do shit, you know? Like you could just wallow all day in this pity. Like let's celebrate our resentments,
Yeah,
like you
you don't
say,
owe them
right?
nothing. You don't owe them nothing.
Yeah, I don't do nothing. And when it was like, and I didn't want to talk about it at first because I knew it would help if I talked about it. This is so silly. So
That's your
silly.
disease going, let me out.
That's my disease. Yeah. And my will's like, you don't need anybody else. Just sit here and do nothing.
Yep.
And I took the power away. I was like, okay, not my will. Not my will. And everything works out, of course, but I was like running on my own, like what I thought would be better for me. Like I was justifying it, and which is silly because it's not like we had a fight, stupid argument. And it was, keeps relationships fresh, if you ask me. But I'll say this, I don't know, it kind of ties into my thing. I got 32 seconds. So my will, like, as always, run amok. And I just got to say, like, since my birthday, I've worked really hard and I've lost 21 pounds. And
Wow.
I
Come on,
haven't
bro.
worn this pair of jeans in like 2 years, and I wore them on Saturday. So I was like, look at me, look at
Come
me.
on,
And
Brandizzle.
that's me really pushing my own like wants and desires aside and knowing the next right thing to do. And that's make better decisions in life. So yeah, 21 pounds. I'm
Come on,
stoked.
Brandizzle.
And I
I'm so
still
proud of
eat
you,
ice
girl.
cream on the
Oh, don't
weekends.
tell. Shh. Don't tell him your secret. Don't tell him your secret. Ooh, so proud of you. That's
And I
dope.
work out every day too. I work out, well, Monday through Friday I work out.
And you
And
feel
so
good too, don't you? Feel good.
yeah, I
Like it
do.
makes you feel
I
good.
feel good.
You can tell you're glowing. It's
Yeah.
it's it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I do. I feel good in myself.
Yeah,
So I'll
man.
leave
You
it.
should.
Love
Proud
you
of
Yeah.
yourself.
guys.
Love you.
Okay, my main man, and when
Yes.
when my will and the principles become one, the struggle ends. Can you set the intention to be a vessel for the principles today, surrendering other agendas so that love can take the lead?
Uh,
Ooh.
yes. Yes. I let love take the lead every day, man. I let love take the lead every day. If I'm living in love, man, I'm having a great day. Um, you know, but this whole like turning it over is not just a one-time event. That whole we talk about surrender a lot. We got to do that shit daily, sometimes throughout the day. Um, but my will, like, always wants like recognition. And so, the step work, all these like the step work and staying in these meetings and staying of service, talking to my sponsor and shit, like all those staples that we hear about are what will really allow me to stay present, in that, like I'm here and now, man, like, and I'm taking in that present moment. because that's the only time I'm connected to him, right? If I'm connected to him, I'm not really worrying about my will. Um, things are just flowing. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. It's just kind of happening. Um,
Mm.
but I'm, instead of being validated, I'm more apt to like, letting it ride. I've been in a lot of meetings lately. I've been in some new meetings. I've been because of my new schedule. I've been on my new schedule, so I've been hopping in some new meetings. I hopped into an old meeting that I haven't really liked very much, and then Milan was hosting the shit yesterday. It was kind of wild. Like
Hey,
it's just
hey.
crazy how things are happening. I love
Last
you, Milan.
Thursday of every month.
And when I pause about things and I start asking myself, like, is this ego? Like, and I can ask myself certain questions, and then it allows me to like hear him again. Because when I'm doing a loving act or whatever, like that's how I communicate with the God of my understanding. Um, and when I'm trying to align things, when I'm trying to force things, and I'm like trying to force those outcomes, it's like it's cool because like it's almost uncomfortable now. Like I can feel when I'm doing it, and like those impulse actions used to be like my go-tos, right? And I want to hit on this, that fear that we keep talking about. That fear is because there's so many layers to fear. When I was in active addiction, like that fear was like that really violent, like scary fear that like people didn't want to be around, or they would just roll with whatever I was doing. Like that was it was like a fear on my end that would make other people act for me. Um, I don't know why I had to say that. I felt like there was a layer to that where like my fear was so um, not violent, but it was like you have to help me right now, and then that would make other
Mm-hmm.
people. It would control other people in whatever I was doing. Um, so I just remember being really nasty and really really volatile with that fear. And throwing that on other people, that blame thrower, and throwing that fear on other people and making them act for me. So I'm done.
Blame
Yeah,
thrower.
that blame thrower, man.
Beautiful.
Blame
The
thrower.
blame through.
That's it.
Okay,
Love you, man.
Hey.
Brandalita. When my will and
Brandalita.
the principles become one, the struggle ends. Can you set the intention to be a vessel for principles today, surrendering other agendas so that love can take the lead?
I love that. I love it. Man, when I like when it comes to principles, like our spiritual principles, like I didn't live by them, and maybe I don't live by all of them every day, right? But I strive to be a good person. And with that, like it is, I got to put aside that destructive will of mine. And when it can kind of align with spiritual principles like humility, I know I'm not better than anyone else. But my will says, "Oh, you are, and you deserve whatever you want." But if I can align that with my spiritual principle and my will, I can I can take myself out of this like ego that I will ride on and a justification and be able to think of someone else, and think of like what is my running amok gonna do for someone else? How is that helpful to society at large, really? And so today I pride myself on being honest and loving, and the willingness that I have today to see when my defects and my will are starting to really, rev the engine. It's kind of like they say, your addiction's in the parking lot waiting for you to slip. Like my will is right there waiting for me to get lazy and be like, "Oh, I will drive. Don't worry, you sit back. I'll drive. I know where you want to go." And so today I get to see that. And I am able to like love other people, but love myself. Like when I was running on my own will, even on days when I do, like I love myself a little bit less because you think like, well, you're doing this, like your will's to trying to give, satisfy you. It's what you want. But it's not always what's best for me. So today I like want to be a vessel of faith and not my will. Having faith and not my will. Because I it's okay. It's okay to surrender because I know that when I play that tape through, like I was saying, it's not a good ending. But if I play the tape through of me being, humility or me forgiving somebody, I play that tape through. There's an end game. There's like a win for me. And it's a growth, should I say. I don't want to say win, but like growth for me that definitely lifts my spirit. It's not always comfortable and not always know which direction it's going to go. Sometimes his will's like all over the place and I get motion sickness, but towards the end, it makes sense. So I want to be able to be that vessel today for love, love that like most of us came in these rooms not loving themselves and maybe, not loved by people or not liked by a lot of people. And like today it's like that's what is so important. That's what holds all of these together is love, and
Facts.
and if yeah, and if it wasn't for God is my higher power, if it wasn't for his love and his will, like my life would be a mess because I see it today and I've lived it. And I know I've had potential to go back there if I don't stay, in the principles that I've been taught today, that I've relearned, because these are things that are in us. It's like how we choose to use them and how we choose to implement them in our lives is up to us. But like I want to just make sure that from this point on, like I have the patience to be able to forgive somebody, to be able to get through something that I don't want to get through, to stand in line. I hate standing in line.
Me too.
And the courage to give up my will daily. Because if I was always afraid before I got clean, like I gave it up so many times, but I took it back so many times. So I want to have that courage and the willingness to be open to not my will, and it's all about love. So I love that we got hashtag LLA here, and now we got, the tattoo to prove it.
Yeah, you know.
I love you guys.
Love you, Brandis. Well, that was a great answer. You are muted, young man.
Thank you for telling me, because I probably would have just done a 4-minute soliloquy of silence. Okay, when my will and the principles become one, the struggle ends. Can I set the intention to be a vessel for the principles today, surrendering other agendas so that love can take the lead? I realized, I don't know, I was maybe Brandy talking about her moving to health and losing weight, but my wife and I have she's been doing it longer, but anyway, I've been doing this healthy eating with her for low cholesterol since January 1st. And it's like, when you start, it's kind of like, oh, this is gonna suck. Like you're denying it, right? But it's like we almost have this self-will approach to eating shitty food, right? Where it
Yep.
and like we like I've said it before on the podcast, like we call it diet, we call it like it's not like promoted as a way to be. But the thing about it is that once you get into it, like I just had a cheat day yesterday and I feel disgusting today. Like I'm telling you right now that my body does not want a full day of unbridled shitty food eaten.
It
Like
tastes different, doesn't it?
even if I matched it with
Yeah.
like a lot of work and it's helping someone move and that, man, ugh. But the same thing had to happen with principles, right? Like I had to learn what healthy acting was like, what healthy action was like,
Mm-hmm.
and also, that practice of like doing the right thing, failing, doing the right thing, failing, and
Yeah.
not giving up just because I failed, and being like, well, U-turn, these principles aren't working for me. I'm just going to leave that one out like forever. Like that's just not how it works. And but when I can bring more of them into my life, I'll tell you, one of the first thing that happens is life becomes simpler. Like
Facts.
when you hear
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
saying, keep it simple, stupid, or whatever. But like I'm telling you that like this very basic routine of discipline and commitment in my life brings me to states like serenity, brings love into my moments, and it's amazing. It's amazing what integrity brings,
Mhm. Yeah.
where that, like when there's integrity between your will, the principles, and your higher powers will, I mean, that's like
Beautiful
a
thing.
bulletproof vest
Mm.
right there, and when love is taking the lead, I find that that almost just happens naturally. Like
Yeah.
when I get into a state of love, when I'm really acting in a state of love, not transactional love, not like
Yeah.
you're going to owe
Yeah.
me later for this one,
Yep. Yep.
but like just
Right.
doing something good. It's like, man, it just feels so incredible to do it. And then
Least amount of friction. So free flowing.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's simple. It's like there's no like, well, I'm gonna have to lie about this
Yeah.
later to pull this one up,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna
Yeah.
feel bad about it later.
Yeah.
Like even if it's lie by omission, you feel bad about it later
Yeah.
or
Yep.
whatever. So this question kind of makes me think of that Saint Francis prayer, that make me a channel of thy peace, and I
Yeah.
think that that prayer is a really good one to examine about becoming some amazing qualities. That's all I got.
That's
I love you
beautiful.
guys.
As you were answering that,
I
I was
love
just
it.
like, I was taking that ride with you through that answer. I'm just like, love would make it to where I'm not worrying about anybody peeking around the corner at me as I'm going through this thing. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm just free flowing through it, bro, with a big old smile on my face, just
Yeah,
loving it.
we're
Yeah,
not
man.
hiding nothing, and then
No,
when we're not
man.
hiding
Yeah.
it, it's like simple.
Peace of
You know,
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like this morning, I woke up feeling like shit, and I was like, I could lie around, or I could just go for my walk, and it'll probably work some of the shitty feeling out of me.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
was just like, man, I'm getting set free by fucking discipline right now.
You chose to be positive
Yes.
and take that higher route, man. Love you. Proud of you.
Love you too.
Thank you for doing that. All right, Brand Dizzle, you ready?
Bring it.
How does my will still show up negatively for you today? How does your will still show up negatively for you today?
Well, I can say my will shows up negatively for me today is the 40 pounds that I gained in the last year and a half. And his will is the 21 I've lost. Uh it's still, it shows up in many ways, and that many ways it can be deceiving to me. And then and then I either eventually see that it's my will, or I can recognize it ahead of time. But it shows up in ways when I get angry if something doesn't go my way. Like there's an outcome I want it a certain way, and it doesn't. Life events. When things don't happen, and I feel like I have to make it happen myself. That stuff like that, and in a not positive way, because I think there's ways like you gotta do the gung ho and get shit done. That's different, as long as it's not running on my will of like what I think needs. My will run today, and like I don't need to say anything. I got this. I don't have
Yes.
to share about that. I got this. Or I'll do it tomorrow. It doesn't need to be done today. That's how my will show up today for sure. And but I got this like, recovery little bug in my head that's like, oh, if you don't do it today, you're gonna feel shitty and you might
Love
not
that
do it
bug.
tomorrow.
Love that
Yeah.
bug.
So just
Love
do it
him.
today.
Yep.
Yeah, just do it today. So it's like there's a lot of stuff that I my will gets combated with, and those little bugs in my head are like, no, you know how this is gonna go. Like how Milan was saying, like whenever like I eat whatever on the weekends, and either that night or by Sunday, I'm like, I feel like shit. I feel like shit right now, and I probably shouldn't have eaten that whole pint. And and added a cookie to it.
Plus
Uh
sprinkles.
but I'm like, but I deserve it. I deserve it. It's the weekend. I can have whatever I want. That's what my will's like. It's you could do whatever. So I gotta watch for like the things that are self-satisfying, and not look for like I need to learn how to self-soothe, and not like grab for something or control something in order to have that. And if I don't pause and instead of reacting, or if I pause instead of reacting, that makes a big difference for me because I can react very easily. But I've learned to pause on things, and I normally don't feel as like angry or like I got to control something if I just pause on it for a minute. So it's definitely my emotions show up. Like I'm a mama bear to more than just my kids, and I feel like I need to defend something, and I don't need to do that. That's definitely my will running. That's not trusting the outcome of how it's going to be. Like, well, if I don't like you know do it exactly, I don't like what is it, dictate every move, it's probably not going to work out. Like that's not like I just gotta like go with the flow. That's what I gotta do. I gotta go with the flow. And for future trippers like me, that can be really hard, not future tripping. That's how my will shows up too. Because I want a future trip. And like you say, like if you got one leg in yesterday and one leg in tomorrow, you're pissing on today. And I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones. I heard someone say it in a meeting the other day.
Straddled.
I heard someone say
Yeah.
it wrong in a meeting the other day.
What'd they
I
say?
love
What'd
that.
they say?
Oh, you got like one leg in tomorrow and one leg in yesterday. You got no feet in. They totally like it was like they flubbed it, and I was like, man, no, no.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
But I didn't
funny.
cross talk. I
Yeah.
did not cross. I wanted to
I
so
love
badly.
that. I love that. I'm there. I'm done anyways. That's
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 so
I
funny.
love when people what they're thinking, but what they're saying doesn't match it
You
really.
want to
You're
like
like,
come
okay,
off me and be like, no. You just want to like just correct
I'm
them.
like, that guy don't know Andrew.
you
That
said
guy
that
don't.
wrong.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
When that person said, I was like, oh, they know Andrew. When they said it right.
That's funny. Milan, you ready?
Yes.
So how does my will still show up negatively today for you? So how does your will still show up negatively for you today?
So, I would say that I would notice, when I'm restless, irritable, and discontent, I'm almost for assuredly acting in something in my will. Like when I'm feeling discomfort in life, it's almost always because I've had some kind of intolerance for somebody, some sort of lack of acceptance, an expectation. Like one of the things that I'm apparently still struggling with is assigning roles to other people. Like even the
Mm,
role of you should be a nice person to me, and like I
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like honestly, people are like,
Mm.
that's boundaries, and it's like it's actually still trying to tell them how they're supposed to be. Like
yeah.
like you can walk away from someone, or you cannot. But like that's really our choice. Like we can't be like, you ought to be, how often this works? You should be nice to me, Andrew. And Andrew's like, oh, I can't wait to be nice to that guy. Like he's like,
You're
man, he's like,
right.
how
You're right.
he's like, could I have a
Yeah.
list of 5 things I'd really like to be nice to you for tomorrow? He's like going home at night thinking, what nice things can I do?
Preparing for
And
being
Yeah.
nice for him tomorrow. Preparing.
and
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's too
and I
funny.
catch myself as well, like with
That's
like
funny.
agendas, like falling into like commodity relationships, and
Mm,
that's like even sometimes it's like positive commodity relationships, but it still is, and I catch it, and I'm like okay, I'm like I have to like shut off what I want from this right now just to actually make my part feel like some kind of just love or service,
yeah.
and that one's a hard one to let go. And then even inside my program, like man, I feel like sometimes I'll get like time frame expectations. Like man, this I've been trying to surrender this for a long time. How come why am I not better? Like and it's not like I'm having a tantrum about it, but I definitely can feel disappointment in myself sometimes. Like
Yeah.
and that really is some kind of form of impatience, just like Andrew was saying earlier, and the I look at some of the people that I remember, like my stepfather. I was like, oh, he's very patient. and my father-in-law, I would say, has an extreme amount of patience in certain ways, and relating that to surrender, like in real time, is it's showing me where my lessons could be,
Mm.
like the ones that I'm missing. Like I was writing a song about, embracing the changes with love in life, and in one of the lines in the song ended up being about, what is my lesson disguised as today? It's like
Yeah.
trying to be like, like where is it hiding?
Trying to find a lesson.
Trying to find the lesson, but like, but just like, what is it? What is it disguised as? Because then those lessons can be disguised as the ugliest moments of our life.
Hmm.
Mm.
Love you
Yeah,
guys.
man. Love you. That was a beautiful answer, Milan.
Yes.
Love you.
Is it my answer, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
How does
yeah.
my will still show up negatively today? Hashtag LLA. Um, man, now that we've been talking about the impatience, I got to hit back on that. Bro, that shit is, I get wrapped up in that. And, impatience, it really does drive me today. There's a level of it driving me today. And it doesn't really look like this dramatic thing, right? It actually looks productive as I think about it. Like I can make it look productive, but underneath I'm feeling tension. Um, as I try to put it into words, like impatience can look and feel noble. Urgency is noble. It feels noble for me, right? If I can keep it in the right lane, if I can keep it productive and maintaining the way I want to go, healthy and spiritual and all that stuff. But it can feel, it feels responsible. It feels efficient, and that impatience sometimes feels like leadership too. Can right, and so that's
Mm.
where I gotta just stay. I gotta stay tapped in with my people and my program, and I really gotta stay looking in on this thing because the more and more I'm worried about other people. Like this is what my sponsor says. Like if I'm worrying about your problems, like I'm working on a relapse. If I'm worrying about my problems, like I'm working on recovery. Like you gotta let other people be where they are. And there's even been some things lately that um bro, like I just I certain things are okay and certain things are not. And then being able to tell somebody how I feel about them, is a thing that I get to do today.
Mm.
And it's a blessing to be there. I'm not even gonna go there. But like the impatient thing has got me in a lot of trouble. Um but like if that's all I'm worrying about today, not using but like worrying about impatience, like I'm okay. I want to hit on this though. Um people's growth, other people's growth. Like that's where I have a problem sometimes. Like this one is real for
Mm.
me. When I see potential in somebody or something, like if I know somebody's capable or I feel like they're capable of doing something or whatever, and that's where I can have a problem too. It can turn negative because my expectations of somebody, or they're not gonna no one's gonna really ever live up to our expectations of somebody, like of them, right? Like if we see 100% of somebody, like most of the time they're not gonna be Captain America, right? Like and so I gotta temper my expectations of people too, because I want them to like grow as I think they should. And bro, that's not proper of me. That is wrong of me to do that. And it gets me all hemmed up in my feelings.
Yeah.
And then if I'm like somebody that's in maybe a sponsorship position, or somebody's trying to help them out, and then they don't succeed, then I'll like be crushed. And so then that's where I can get myself in trouble. So the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I can kind of stay out of that lane. But to layer onto that, in my own growth,
Mm.
in my own growth, it can show up negatively. Because I can still, maybe not think I'm far along enough, or, I want to be free now. I want to be complete freedom. Like I want to be done. Like I like, that whole, like, I need it now mentality. And that's where like impatience turns inward. And, and it says, I should be like farther along in this task, or like, hey, maybe you should already be in Louisville by now, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I have a way of beating myself down. Some of that can be healthy though, Brandy, like, because I need some of that. Like I need that healthy, like, what are you waiting for? But
Yeah.
I try to stay in God's lane. Like I'm not trying to push anything. Like I let things happen naturally. And when things take too long naturally, that's where I get a little bit of a problem, right? I try to force things. All right,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Woo.
I gotta say, I love where you're saying the like other people's growth. I struggle with that sometimes. I think I don't know if it's where it happened or where it started, but I have to stop myself. Like, I'm like, I know they can do this. Like, like I'm like whether it's cheering them on or criticizing them in my own head, they don't even know about it. And I get so disappointed. And I feel like when I'm like that, I don't like the recovery gets pushed aside. And it's like, just look at like where they're at, like,
Great point.
I like for me, I just want to be better today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I really liked how you touched on that because that's something that that's my will too. That's our own will trying to be like, well, they can do this. I know they're capable of doing this. How many times did it take me to come in here and stay? Well, I mean, to try to come in here. So many.
Yeah.
So
Milan,
many.
you deal with that? You deal with that at all? Milan?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say,
Okay.
I'd say it's impossible not to, especially
Yeah.
responsees,
Yeah.
We talked
and
a little bit about
Yeah.
that the other day, Milan, where you were like, I let it, you were like, I have learned to just let that shit go. You're like, I can't control that.
Yeah.
And you had
well,
the way
like,
you
I
explained
mean,
it was good.
yeah, like for me, I just like, I have to try and just show what I'm doing. And it's kind of like a take it or leave it thing. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I absolutely feel like joy when somebody's succeeding and growing. And when
Yeah.
somebody's stopped at a point, it makes me reflect it. I'm like, okay, how am I presenting this in a way that they're not understanding?
Yeah.
Or are they just not ready to understand it?
But you don't beat yourself up too much about it.
I did, and I
Yeah.
don't now. Like I really don't now because what I realized is that, just because I'm ready to teach it doesn't mean they're ready to learn it.
Good point.
Just
Good
yeah,
point.
I think about like, well, the seeds planted,
Yeah.
whether it sits next to another one
Just stay
and it's
consistent.
it's
And
it's not staying in the moment, like love them for who
Right
myself
then.
or who I'm thinking of right then.
Yeah.
That's why like
Point.
I say like I don't think people that come back understand how much they inspire me
Yeah, man.
because I only hope I could come back, and I hope I can.
like I haven't had to.
Yeah.
But I do know from my own white knuckling experiences that it's like once I say fuck it, you better have
Yeah.
a long fucking rope to try and pull me back in.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll be like that
That's
salmon that's fucking heading back out those.
the Wendy's of the world,
Yeah.
there's no way I could do a Wendy. There's no way in the world. No way. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
will
don't
tell you
think.
what.
I don't think.
It's that
32
like you
years?
say, it's the case of the fuckets,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. How do you it's like
How do you come and
so
say,
I
I've
hope
got
and
one
pray I
day? I've got
can.
one day. You've been
Yeah.
32 years. Imagine Sean coming in and be like, I got one day. I would
Yeah.
die. I would die. I would lose my shit, bro. I would have to rethink my whole shit, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's where it's like that's where it comes from, like that's like, oh shit, to I want to find that inspiration right
Tighten
away.
up. Yeah. Tighten up.
Yeah. Because you never, that's why it's just for today. You never know. You
Yeah,
never
we're
do.
just addicts.
And
We're just addicts, bro.
yeah.
We're gonna wake up tomorrow an
Yep.
addict. Might be crazy tomorrow, a crazy addict tomorrow. You never
Yeah.
know, man.
Yeah. But what
Where
a
we at?
program though. Like
Love it.
such a beautiful, amazing program that has
Newcomers, where
helped
you
for
at?
decades. Yeah.
Where are
Like I
newcomers
didn't
at,
ever
man?
think I ever wanted to quit or I could quit or I'd quit like from everything. And there's all the things that come with it, but this program is what brought it all to me. And like I remember, I think Sean said one time, like God brought me to NA and NA brought me back to God. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know. I just
Mhm.
love this program so much. Just so yeah.
You don't
I
ever
think that
have
was
to
a
pick
little
up ever again, even if you
yeah.
want to. Ever.
we
Yeah.
had a crazy bump of views from Singapore again. Like shout
Again?
out to Singapore.
Yes, Singapore.
I don't know what's
Yes.
going, but
I've been praying for it. I've been praying.
like 700 in a few days.
Yes,
Like,
I've
Love
been
so
it.
waiting.
anybody out there from Singapore, we would
Let's
love to have a Singapore
Singapore.
guest.
Yes. Yep.
Like reach out
We're
Yes.
doing
to
it. We're doing it.
comments,
We're doing
reach
it.
out to Facebook. I don't care how, like
Yeah.
just let us know who you are and we want to have you on.
If you're
Anyone
listening
here.
to Singapore, we're talking about you. Yes, you.
Yeah.
That one right there. Yes, you.
I think
Yeah.
that's great to have us, somebody that listens to come in.
Yeah,
that.
I would love that.
We'll try to figure out what
Yeah.
it is, like what it is, and we'll keep doing it. We want to keep doing
Yeah.
what y'all are tapping in for. So
It's amazing.
hell yeah, love it, man. Pump me up.
helps
I was
us
thinking
and
about
we-
it in my sleep last. I was thinking about Singapore. I couldn't remember the country, and I was
Singapore
like,
was
I
thinking
remember
about you.
waking up this morning. Dang
Yeah.
it, love it, love it.
We love you, Singapore.
Cool,
Yes.
man.
I love
Thank
this
you for saying
podcast, you
that.
guys.
Where we at,
Yeah.
Milano?
Brandy's asking me a question.
Cool. Come on,
Okay.
Brandis.
All right. Let's see. I have a couple here. Which one do I want to end with? Okay. What changes when I choose trust over control?
Ooh.
Okay,
Trust over
so
control.
let's go to the world of addiction, where my concept of freedom was leave me the fuck alone to do whatever I want and don't tell anybody else what you see me do. Okay? Like that was freedom, you know? And so now, repeat that question, Brandy, because I think it leads right into what I'm saying.
You're good. What changes when I choose trust over control?
And so when I choose trust over control, I am free. I'm free just to be. I'm free to live inside the principles and not have all these little strings in my brain pulling me to try to control stuff. Like it literally is the beginning of freedom. And like, you know, I would say it also kind of can induce a state of serenity, bring about love. You know, like, I mean, think of how many times we've pushed people away by trying to control them. You know, like, and thinking it's under the guise of like, well, I care or I know best or blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, when I don't, all of a sudden those people are like willing to be around me because I'm not just like a jerk about things, you know?
Yeah.
Like it amazes me. Like, you know, when they say, you know, you get more bees with honey, well, you get more friends with love. Like, you know, you get more friends with love and freedom and forgiveness than you're ever going to get by like commoditizing love and controlling. You know, like it literally is just something that makes people want to be around because they feel good as well. They get to feel good, you know? And so
it's contagious at the same time too.
it is absolutely contagious.
Yeah.
Like there's, you know, there's kind of like, you know, this group of us going to these meetings here, and then I watch the freedom and liberation and love growing inside these people, and it's just amazing. And like someone new shows up and they're like, oh, this is like a really good group.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and you know, it's not because we're buying the most expensive coffee. Like, you know, it's because the environment's there and people are sharing on what they're learning about and supporting each other. And so, you know, when it's like when you say that, like that trust for control, I instantly just feel like that feeling right there.
Relief.
You know, it's like, and it makes me think of when I'm walking in the dark and I'm praying, and it's just like, I know I'm in the middle of the road, and sometimes that's all I know. But that feeling of just knowing that I'm not falling off the edge is enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Love them.
That's
I love you
beautiful,
guys.
man. That's beautiful. I love you more.
Yeah, I love that.
I'll
All right,
take
Andrew,
that.
you ready for it?
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
What changes when I choose trust over control?
Wow, this is such a deep one. Like as you were talking about it, Milan, I was just sitting here just thinking
It's
about a lot of
tasty.
things. It really is. Look for like to break it down, control creates tension in my life. Trust creates peace in my life, right? Like simple as that. Like control just makes me tense, and then makes me loose, right? It makes me peaceful. Um, when makes me think about this saying that I like to say, like when I'm doing something that I love and enjoy, like it's passion. And I'm not watching the
Mm,
clock when I'm doing it. But if I'm doing something I don't
yeah,
like doing, it's stressful. I'm like watching the clock and the time is like going by so slow, right? So I'm trying to stay in that whole like love lane. I'm trying to move with this world. I'm not trying to fight the world anymore today. That's where like, man, like giving up that control has been just a breath of fresh air, right? It has loosened all the tension on my shoulders.
mm,
Now it still pops in, right? Like that, like the fear and all those little layers that we talked about today, but it doesn't overwhelm me. You know what I mean? It doesn't overwhelm me where I gotta go sit at the bar, right? Go call my dad and go meet him at Applebee's, right? And get a couple drinks down. I don't it's not, that doesn't cross my mind. Those things don't cross my mind anymore. So like this program, people talk about this program that hasn't done much for them, but it's given me everything because it has allowed me to stop using. Bro, that's a miracle.
right?
Bro, that is
Magical.
everything. That is everything. If that's all it does for me, bro, like that, it's done everything for me. It's done everything for me.
Mm,
It has opened the doors for my entire life, spiritually, with other people in this world, with myself, um, without having to pick up. Man, I don't got to go to the pharmacy anymore, but for Band-Aids. Right? Like
right?
it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. I remember before I would even, I'd wake up in the morning and before my feet even hit the ground, Brandy, I was going through a whole day of fucking bullshit and what I had to do. And,
Right?
and I would work a full day before my feet even hit the
That's what you fell asleep
ground.
to. You fell
Bro,
asleep to
I'm
that bullshit.
telling you, man. I'm telling you. So then you wake up in that whirlwind and it's like, bro, we got to do this shit again.
Yeah.
I remember laying there like again. I gotta do this shit again. And then for what? And then for what? So I can wake up tomorrow morning and do this shit all over again and be thinking the same thing again today.
Right.
And but I remember like not even having a phone, like losing, like I didn't even have phone access, and I'm laying up in this room with no money, no phone, I remember having like a couple of my dealers that I could remember had them written on a piece of paper that was like downstairs, but my body hurt so bad that I didn't even want to walk downstairs and get the piece of paper, let alone find a phone. I think we had like a house phone or something that was halfway hooked up, and then or I could like find my father's phone, right? Maybe it was in the safe. I don't know. Who knows where that was? And but I just remember being so just done with life. I was so done. I wasn't
Yeah.
cleaning up after myself. I wasn't doing anything. Literally did not care about anything. And bro, like to be able to like sit here today, I'm sitting on a podcast talking about recovery and like my will versus like God's will. And I like how the fuck does this happen?
Right.
How does this
Yeah,
happen,
it's
man?
not overnight.
Uh, I can't, when I think about it, like, yeah, we go through a lot of hard times and shit to get to where we're at. Like
Hmm.
Brandy, you're coming up on 5 years. Like, come on, I'm coming up on
Yeah.
4. We go through a lot of hard times, but that's where I try to tell people, you gotta stick through there. Like we have survived a lot of fucked up shit to be where we're at right now. You've survived everything that you've been through today right now. So I don't care what you're
Mm,
going through right now. You're going to get through it. I don't give a fuck what it is.
yeah.
You're going to get through it. You've been through worse. I know it. I know it. And so that's why I always hang my hat on that, bro. I try to live in that spot because it just really puts me in that, practicing gratitude and being grateful for like what the fuck is going on right now. Like that's what gets me there. So that was my answer. I don't even know if it answered it. I'm sorry.
It was
Ooh,
beautiful.
that
No,
was
it was
great.
great. It was great.
Love you guys, man.
Okay, let me ask myself, what changes when I choose trust over control? Well, um, I'm a control freak, but and my control is like for the good, and I think it's for better. This is like I know, and when I just kind of like let go, like I don't remember which one you said it, like it's just the feeling from needed to control to just like having trust is so much lighter. It's like going from, carrying a 50-pound bag of sand around and understand why no one's helping me carry it, but I won't let anybody touch it, to just a feather, and it's like, but me trying to control something is not always is it the outcome it's supposed to be? When I don't trust and I just control, is my outcome genuine? Like, is this how it was supposed to go? And in majority of the time, I would say all the time, but maybe majority of the time, it doesn't go well at all. And it's kind of like, well, I guess I should have just trusted, or when when I'm able to sit back, because life keeps life and when we get in recovery and we stop using, like I thought that everything would be honky dory and I would have no character defects and everything would be just perfect. Like everybody that doesn't use drugs, like they obviously life is just, dandy all the time. And no, like those emotions and feelings that I was numbing for so long, um, kind of like is where I felt like I need, well, I've always been a little bit of a control freak, but like they got manifested big time. And I had to learn that, that the trust, which goes along with surrendering my will, and me having my hand in everything. I go every day by trust because I never know what's next. And I don't know what tomorrow is. I don't know if tomorrow will be there. But I trust today that it will be. And when things get tough, like, my husband's got a great job, thank God. But in, the industry he works in, it can be up and down. And so I just trust. Instead of trying to like I can't control his work or anything, but control how things are gonna go. I just trust. Um, I live off that today because I know that when I was running on my own will, my own control for so many years and went nowhere, but the gates of hell pretty much to today to trust because I know that for me, like I used for so many years and I don't take advantage of this, of course, and my addiction shows up in many other ways. Like I have not wanted to use drugs one time since I got clean. I wanted to escape a feeling. I wanted to like fulfill myself. I wanted to, make myself feel good or I let my, addiction run in different ways like food and shopping. And but if I just trust, and I surrender my will, like that's why I say I know I can do anything. I know I'm capable of doing anything. But if I try to rush it or do it in my time and how I think it should go, like with this whole getting healthy process. Like I want to start to diet and work out and I want to see results next week. Like I want to see, and I just need to trust the process. Like when I work once a week and each person that I work for, because I do a house every other week, they have a scale and I only weigh myself there. And I tell myself every time before I get on it, it's okay if it didn't change. It's okay if it goes up a little bit. Like I'm just trusting this process of where I want to be. Like I just want to hurry up and get there. I just really want to be healthy. And I do want to maintain something healthy, instead of a quick fix. So if I stop controlling, start trusting, just let it go with the flow. Let it go in the time it's gonna go. Doesn't have to go in Brandy's time. And it works out, Like what do you lose from trusting? At least your higher power. I mean, we can trust the people out there and maybe
Beautiful.
they're running on their own will still, and so who knows? But today I choose trust and I work on control. I'm not gonna
Woo.
say I master
Is that
that.
Chef Brandy burning it up? Is that Chef Brandy in the
Yeah,
kitchen burning it up, sizzle
yeah, that's
panning that up?
right.
You sizzle
That's
panning
right.
Brandy. Come on now.
I
That was
Love you so
wonderful.
much. That was fire.
love you guys.
Okay, Andrew, we often do the
Yes.
right thing but stay attached to a specific payoff. Can you apply the principle of unselfishness today, surrendering your will for a thank you and simply loving the act of giving?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Brandy, thank you for your answer. That last answer, that was fire. I love you so much. We missed you. Yeah. Ask that last part of it again. I was started
Okay,
running my
can
mouth.
you
I'm
apply
sorry.
the principle of unselfishness today,
Yes.
surrendering your will for a thank you and simply loving the act of giving?
Yeah. It is about giving, doing something nice for somebody, staying out of my will. That's where I try to tackle self-will with goodwill, if at all possible, doing that right thing for the right reason, regardless of who's looking, even if nobody's looking, especially when nobody's looking and when nobody's going to find out, trying to always do the right thing. And it gets me out of my head. I'll say that a lot. Like the quickest way out of my head is like a simple like act or conversation with another person, just doing something for somebody, opening up a door for somebody, just allows me to stay right sized and stay spiritual, to get on to the next thing and do that thing spiritual, right? It just allows me to stay in motion. We talk about spiritual principles in motion. I heard a podcast one time talking about spiritual principles in motion. It was dope. It was fire as fuck. I love that shit. You ever heard? I think Milan is not listening to us because I think he heard that podcast too. Did you hear that podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So what was I saying? Yeah, and so it allows me to stay right size and stay one with the world, right? Like I'm not trying to fight the universe anymore today. I cannot manipulate what this world has going on. I can't like make the world turn the other way or anything like that. I used to think I could do shit like that. But I can't, I cannot. And so I want to break this open for you. Self will. I've got a couple acronyms for self will. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
So this first one. So self-centered. Excuse me. I got two of them. So seeking ego-led fear with intense lust for life on my terms. What do y'all think about that? So
I like
seeking
that one.
ego-led fear with intense lust for life on my terms. Kind of run off at the end there. And then this one, self-centered expectation, lacking faith, wanting immediate life lessons.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Look
And
at you.
I had one more, but it was kind of like gets lost. Separates ego from love and faith while increasing loneliness and loss. So there's a lot of like ends in there, but
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm done. I don't need to go. I don't need to
I
run
love them.
anymore. I was on.
I love it when you
I'm
do
an acronym,
those.
dude. I love my acronym.
I swear it must just like words just run through your mind like that, I'm sure.
I put them together. Like every time we do a podcast, I always go like, how can I spin something into making that an acronym? And then I make it happen. Love you
Yeah.
guys.
Dude, you're an expert at it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a book. I'm gonna make a book.
Yeah, we're going to do the
You
thing.
We're
should.
gonna do the calendar
do it.
book thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. I think I'm joking.
Okay, Brandon, we often do the right thing but stay attached to a specific payoff. Can you apply the principle of unselfishness today, surrendering your will for a thank you and simply loving the act of giving?
Yeah. So I thought I was a selfless person when I always thought I was a selfless person, but I was self-centered people pleaser to be honest about it. And today I feel like I can do things for other people, non-transactional, which is a big one because it was always like, well, what am I going to get from this? Like even if I say it out loud or like that's where my end game goes. And my will brings me to be able to be there for other people and not just think about my needs because my needs will be like, in a situation, okay, well, how's it going to go for me first? And then we'll see what's left for you. And it's not like that. It's as a whole, or it's oh, my you guys, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear you now. You're good.
Okay. My earbud
Some
just
popped in
like
and out, but you're straight.
okay. I just wanted to tell me that my earbud was dying. But anyways, so when I'm able to practice like, humility today and really humility and my will, they don't go hand in hand at all. Because what is it like my will is I look out for myself and I think that I'm my needs are more important than yours, even if you don't even know what mine are, or but it's still more important and very self-centered. And humility brings me to not the center of something anymore. And so and which can be hard to do sometimes, because there's things that, we go about our life that I think, like the justifiable self-centered things, or the justifiable needs. Like, well, I feel like that, you know, like I don't use drugs and alcohol anymore, so I can eat ice cream every day if I want to. And and like I don't spend, I don't steal money anymore from you, so why don't you give it to me so I can just spend it? And that's still working in self-centeredness, and that's looking at my needs. And I especially in a relationship, it's not about one person's needs. It's about what's our needs. Like, there's an end game in things. And if I run on my will and what I think is better, then and let my self-centeredness go, like I'm gonna I'm gonna get there before you, and it's not gonna be the same. It's gonna suck. And because, like, today I do things together with people and not by myself, because my own inner thoughts and my defects will tell me that, yeah, maybe they'll be helpful, but like you don't really need people to help you. Or even there's if they don't know about it, it doesn't hurt them. Like that's a big one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like that's where my will and like my self-centeredness and like what I think I deserve creeps in, because if they don't know about it, then it's not
That's a
like
deep
it's
one.
a lie.
It's a deep
It
one.
is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when we were all using, I thought, like, if my family doesn't know about it, they're not affected by it. Well, most of them knew about it, and they were all affected by it. So
And if you're
it's
affected by it, they're going to be affected by it, by how it affects
yeah,
you. So, you know what I mean? Like so many
yeah,
levels to
it's
it.
that ripple effect,
Mm.
that ripple effect. And today it's that ripple effect that they feel is they get the good ripple effect from the program I work today.
Yes.
And that's,
Tell them.
comes back to being able to be to act on humility and not on my own will, and to trust, not control. So I'm so grateful to be able to not just know the tools, because I think we're all built with them, but to acknowledge them and use them and work on them, because I'm not perfect. You might
Love
think
that.
so. I used to be
I'll say, I'm
conceited, but now
close.
I'm
Say I'm
perfect.
close. She says I'm close. She says I'm close. This is
Almost
what I
there.
wanted to say. This is on the last part of my last fear. I don't know if I talked to you about this, Milan. I heard somebody say something about fear is just a word. And look at it like this. If you were in another country and you heard somebody babbling off and they said the word fear in another country, you wouldn't know what that word is. You wouldn't even know that they were saying that word fear, right? So that's how like fear is just a word. Like we put a lot of weight around that word, but it's just a word, bro. Like
Yeah.
it could be spaghetti.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's what
I got so much
I love
spaghetti
that.
right now.
love you guys.
I'm just motivated by my spaghetti.
Right.
We often do the
Spaghetti
right
always gets in the
things.
way.
It gets saucy on my face. We
Spaghetti.
often do the right thing, but stay attached to a specific payoff. Can I apply the principle of unselfishness today, surrendering my will for a thank you and simply loving the act of giving? I listened to this speaker tape this morning. It was a guy from England, and not this morning, this week, earlier this week, and it was about his take on sponsorship, and it was really interesting. Like he really has very firm rules and detached and kind of like, but when he says how much service should you be doing, he said enough so that it hurts a little. Because
That's good.
one of the things that we will do for sure is rationalize when we're doing enough.
Yeah.
Great point.
We'll pat ourselves on the back before that hand should even be moving to pat. We're like, whoa, that's a good job, Milan. You're certainly doing good with those sponsors. But
Yeah.
and when he said that, I don't know, I liked it. I was like, okay, like I can relate to that, because for myself, one of the things I'll do is if I start taking my will back, I'll start rationalizing. And that for sure, I did mention that earlier, but for sure, if I am taking my will back, there is some rationalization on the table, and it's usually about how somebody else should be treating me, you know? And so in the sense of this question, right? Like, can I practice the principle of unselfishness, you know, like true service with no need even for the thank you, and actually just having that act of giving that service, and you know, and that's a really tough one, because it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I gotta say that sometimes the service is worth it beyond the act of just even seeing the smile on someone's face, or the freedom growing in their eyes, or whatever it is. Like, you know, and it's really hard for me to say whether the chicken or the egg came first in that experience. Did I actually want to see them do better before I helped them? Because then is that the thank you for it that I'm actually
Mm,
wanting? And
yeah.
it's like, I don't know, and I honestly don't think at this point in my recovery that I can trust myself to not have that motivation in there. And you know, like, I I love the people that I'm helping. I love the people that I help, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. You know, there's moments where I'm not loving everybody, and sometimes people are rubbing me the wrong way. And am I going to stop what I'm doing? No, because I think if you let an asshole make you an asshole, they do win. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just not into it.
Yep.
I think, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys.
I
This has
love you
been a great
guys.
episode. Andrew, I know you got something to say. Oh, you're muted. Whoa.
What else
I
was
just wanted to say I was going to say a lot of things, but I just wanted to hit you with the self-will tank again. The acronym separates ego from love and faith while increasing loneliness and loss. We'll hit that one.
mm,
Seeking ego-led fear with intense lust for life on my terms.
life
Self-will.
on my terms.
Love that shit. Love you guys,
Brandy,
man. Brandy, it's good to see you
Love
again.
you. Yes.
Brandy,
Good to be
you
back.
got anything to say here at the end?
I love you guys so much, and my days just are not normal when I don't have a piece of you in there, and so I'm happy to be back. And this was a great
Woo.
episode.
We're glad you're
I
feeling
love you
better.
guys.
Love you,
I want to
Brandy.
reiterate Singapore. If you're
Singapore, let's
listening,
Woo
go.
if you're
Come
listening,
woo!
on.
come
Come
on.
on.
We want
Right
we
here.
want to
Be
hear
sitting
from
right
you.
here.
Yes,
Let's go. We
Tune
want you
in
right
to
next
here.
hear us.
episode for
Let's
more
go.
Singaporean fun.
Let's go.
Bye bye, everybody.
Love
We
you
love you.
guys.
Please help us help others. If you'd like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.